From, from loaded portions of carbs, fats, and proteins to little snacks in between, these are some of the things UFC fighters actually eat to stay fit. Starting off with George St. Pierre. Even though he's retired now, George dominated UFC's welterweight division for over a decade. And of course, when you fight for a living, you've got to stay incredibly fit. And to stay in shape, you've got to do a lot more than just bulk up. You see, in combat sports, fighters need to cut weight for the weigh-in. And that's why their diets can vary depending on their goal weight and body type. Now, our boy George here has never shied away from admitting he's got a sweet tooth. He loves chocolate, just like everyone else. But when he attended camps before his fights, the former fighter tried to eat as healthy as he possibly could, eating a lot of greens, lean foods, and drinking a lot of water. That also meant he ate no carbohydrates for a week before stepping out in the ring. Imagine that. But being an MMA fighter is not the only thing that influenced his diet. Back in 2017, George was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, which basically means a portion of his bowels were very inflamed. And because of this, he made a full 180 turn with his lifestyle and is now really into intermittent fasting. He now reaches for fermented foods for his gut and has incorporated a lot of collagen into his diet. Bone broth, fruits, berries, you name it. And speaking of bones, this next fighter's not having any of them. John Jones. That's right, folks. John Bones Jones stays away from anything that's not plant-based. But how did that happen? Well, back in 2020, the American fighter posted a picture of a hearty vegan meal on his Instagram and thanked his now ex, Jesse, for introducing him to this way of living. Now, I'm pretty sure when you think of fighters and bulking up, you don't think they'd eat anything that doesn't involve meat. But you'd be surprised to know how much going vegan has helped bodybuilders to tone their physiques. Judging from John's post, I'd say he's into eating tons of sweet potatoes, baby carrots, cherry tomatoes, a bit of corn, some eggplant, and of course, the best kind of fat, avocados. Don't give me that look. We love a good guac. And even though I'm not much of a vegan myself, I'd like to think having avocado toast every morning kind of makes me part vegan too, just like Jones. While there hasn't been much of an update on if he's still into that vegan lifestyle, I sure hope he's enjoying the whole no meat thing. But probably not as much as this next fighter who's in a whole other league on his own. Israel Adesanya. From having 5 meals a day to a pre-fight snack, this MMA fighter's got one heck of a diet plan. It's not usual for fighters to eat a lot. How else are they going to get their gains? But Israel definitely takes it up a notch. His dietitian, Jordan Sullivan, founder of The Fight Decision, spilled some tea about the fighter's meal plans on TikTok some time ago. And you guys, you won't believe how much this dude eats in a day. For his first meal of the day, he has a nice serving of overnight oats topped with strawberries, bananas, and of course, chocolate chips. Moving on to his second meal, this is where he hits the protein mother load. The star of the meal is obviously banana and chocolate chip protein pancakes. But depending on Israel's mood, sometimes he switches it up with scrambled eggs and bacon on the side. And that's not where it ends. For his third meal of the day, he ends up relishing a meaty portion of teriyaki chicken along with some rice and potatoes, which is kind of exactly like his fourth meal too, where he often has a second chicken dish that's normally honey barbecue with wild rice. Adesanya's final chicken dish of the day is sweet chili chicken with rice, and that's when he hits all his macros for the day. His pre-fight snack includes stuff that's typically used as performance fuel like rice cakes, Nutella, yes, Nutella, and sometimes bananas and some honey. And if you think that was a lot, wait till you hear about this former artist who's got it all, Ronda Rousey. Like everyone else here, Ronda loves herself a big breakfast. Not me though, I haven't had a proper one since grade school. Anyway, breakfast's kinda like a big deal for this superstar. She calls it her favorite meal of the day and typically has a bowl of chia seeds, oats, agave nectar, almond butter, raisins, and a little spice for some kick. A dash of cinnamon. But if she's not feeling a bowl, she mostly just makes herself an Ezekiel wrap in the morning with almond butter, honey, and banana, and then goes about her day. Oh, and how can I forget? What's breakfast without some coffee? See, Ronda loves her caffeine. But that's not to say she doesn't enjoy having coconut water or green tea every now and then too. For lunch, she sometimes whips up some scrambled eggs with red peppers, tomatoes, avocado, spinach, mushrooms, and good old turkey bacon. And pairs it up with some toast. Not gonna lie though, I might just make one of these days too. Her go-to snacks on most days are sweet potato yam chips, and she calls it a day with 6 ounces of ground turkey, red and green bell peppers, some avocado, hemp seeds, and beans, and of course, a sprinkle of cayenne and chili pepper on top. That honestly sounds delicious, you guys. But there's still one fighter left whose meal plan puts everyone else to shame: Conor McGregor. At this point, there's no UFC video that's complete without our resident bad boy. And of course, when it comes to some diet and exercise, Conor's pretty much the standard for most gym bros. While he typically follows a pretty strict diet, he still leaves enough room in his plan to have an occasional glass of beer. As I've already mentioned before, no two fighters follow the same meal plan, but they do focus on eating clean, and that's exactly what the Notorious does. He starts his day with some hydration and drinks a glass of water before getting in a quick workout. After that, he has a big breakfast with eggs, smoked salmon, some fruits and veggies, and of course, an Americano mixed with a fresh shot of espresso. Then, he snacks on some Greek yogurt and throws in some nuts for good measure, before diving straight into his lunch that's full of protein like red meat, fish, or chicken breast. He pairs his meat of choice with some salad, and rumor has it, the fighter loves his kale. Conor's pre-workout snacks are light too, with mostly nuts and fruit. But his post-workout BSN shake is where it's at. Sometimes he reaches for coconut water, or some carbs like sweet potatoes or a glass of milk to fuel his reserves. But he saves all his calories for dinner, where he hits his remaining protein goal and enjoys a nice steak with some green beans and sometimes rice. On a good day, he'll even pair it up with either some tequila, beer, or whiskey. But that's just for special occasions. And that's everything that UFC fighters eat in a day. See you in the next video.
Okay, I like to use a spatula with holes so to get the sogginess out, and make sure you really to cut that. Cut. Let it drain.
On the morning of weigh-ins. I am old. Funny things, I love sweet stuff. I'm a sweet tooth guy, but the last few days, I don't really have sweet cravings. I'm more craving meat.
Following this new nutrition diet.
Roy Nelson sent us the his diet.
Stop. I don't have to worry about weight. I don't have to worry about nothing. Just keep the body loose, keep the body sharp.